Alright, here we are for another FSD video. We did get the update 2025.45.7, which includes version 14.2.2.2. I don't know why they have to have so many points on there, but we do have basically the same release notes as we've had since we got 14, and we still are supposed to have better parking coming in the future, but I wanted to today see if we can go for a drive and park at as many places as we can to see how the parking is doing, because we have had problems with parking in some of the previous versions of 14, and hopefully they've all been resolved by now with these all these twos here on the release. Can you navigate to Charlie's 2, then to Woodstock Market, then to Little Caesars, then to McDonald's, then to Einstein Bros Bagels, and then to Dunkin' Donuts, and then City Barbecue, and then Target, and then to Chick-fil-A.
Sure, navigating to Charlie's 2, then the market in Woodstock, Little Caesars, McDonald's, Einstein Bros Bagels, Dunkin', City Barbecue, Target, and Chick-fil-A. First stop is just 2 minutes away, 0.7 miles.
Okay, so I did get all that navigation in there. I think it's all correct now. It is, there was a lot of destinations I was trying to get it to do. Honestly, it did pretty good, except for the fact that there are a decent number of options for the same place. And so I guess you have to be specific to each one of those navigations, unfortunately. But we got it in there. So now we're going to head out. And I'm going to check the parking at each one of these locations, make sure that it does well. Actually, honestly, I might have skipped over some of that grok interaction because it was very lengthy. But suffice to say, I think we did get all the navigation in there, and hopefully in the correct order. Just want to get a bunch of different parking destinations here to test those parking jobs. It did park very well this morning in this first attempt. Probably be hard pressed to find any differences in this version versus others. Okay, I should probably, yeah, I'm gonna put down a chill here in the neighborhood. It was on hurry. Try to keep it in standard most of the time. But in the neighborhood, I don't like it to be going over the speed limit. Alright, so this is a left turn here, unprotected, and it can be a little tricky because there's cars that come over the hill there to the right, but traffic's not too bad right now, so we should go right now, I think. Yep. Alright, so that was nice and clean. Put it back up to standard. Alright, so first parking lot here. And we are going to the parking lot, so that's where we're stopping, hopefully. Should pick a space. And let's see. I mean, nobody's here, so obviously you can pick any spot. And we are going to pick the handicap spots right off the bat. Okay, so it's definitely going to have to update that to better fix the handling of those things. but we did park in the handicap spot. So first parking job, it did park very well, just in a space that I wouldn't want it to park in, unfortunately, since we shouldn't be parking in the handicap spot. But that's okay. It did park very well and in one attempt, so that's good. Next destination here is just up the way, 0.6 miles. It's earlier in the morning here. I think a lot of people have this day off. It is New Year's Eve, so probably not going to see too many people out here. That was kind of awkward because that guy was driving not down the lane. He was just kind of driving all over the place anyway. All right, so that was a good parking job for that. Now we're going to Little Caesars. So we were a little bit to the left, and it kind of went back and forth a little bit there, but I think that was because that truck, he was driving through the parking spots a little strangely, and I think it wasn't sure what he was going to do, but handled it okay, actually. All right, now the McDonald's that's on the route later is in this parking lot, so I see that it's gonna go out of the parking lot, go around to get there, so that's probably the least efficient way it could have gotten there, but we'll see what it does once we navigate from Little Caesars here. Some EVgo fast chargers. I actually see a lot of people using these. There's somebody using it right now, and well, yeah, I think that Bolt's using it. He's parked there. I can't tell if he's actually plugged in, but I actually see a decent number of EVs using that EVgo charging spot there. All right, Little Caesars. We could park anywhere here. I think would be good. And yes, we're gonna park here, nose in this parking space. One attempt again. Not as good of a parking job. I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of that one real quick. All right, so I just realized my microphone was not working for that first part of that, so apologies if the audio was bad for the first few parking spots there. Now we're going to go to McDonald's, and okay, so the navigation after McDonald's is out of the parking lot that way, so that's fine. Not as strange as I thought it was going to be. So yeah, that parking job was the worst so far. Well, other than parking in the handicap space, but again, I don't think it has the ability to read any signs or identify a handicap space versus any other space. So hopefully that's an update that's coming with what it says on the release notes as enhanced parking spot selection and quality. Hopefully that comes in 14.3 or something pretty soon. That would be nice. So yeah, the McDonald's here is just across the parking lot, so it should be easy enough to just, yep. Yeah, so I was thinking that we were actually going to go a weird way to get here, but this is actually the most efficient way to get here, so that's good. And we can park anywhere. And we are. This actually used to be, it looks like, handicap spots that they painted over them, so that's fine. And a good parking job. A little bit close to the right this time, but that's okay. All right, next stop is, I believe, Einstein Brothers Bagels. We'll see. Yes, Einstein. Okay. And we're going to go around the building here. No interventions or disengagements so far. However, if I was like David Moss, who's been posting on X, he just completed a cross country zero intervention drive on FSD 14.2, and I imagine he probably had a few situations actually where he had to repark it. So if it parked in a handicapped space and you didn't want it to be there, you can tell it to go to the same destination again, and it will pick a different parking space. So I imagine that's probably what he had to do in order to not have a disengagement and actually park it himself. I don't know. That seems crazy to me because I would have gotten really tired of that, because I imagine that probably happened many times across the country. In fact, he's got 10,000 miles, over 10,000 miles on FSD 14.2 with that zero intervention going. I mean, right here, I'd want to wait for this cyclist to go across, but he didn't look like he was really wanting to go before us, so maybe that's on him. If he had been more assertive, like he was going to go, I'm sure it would have waited for him, but he was kind of camping out for a minute. So yeah, I can't imagine going 10,000 miles in 14.2 and be happy with all of the navigation that it had across those 10,000 miles. And I mean, I gotta imagine, like, there's got to be like potholes and stuff. You would think there's got to be something that you would have to intervene or disengage for in that amount of time. I can't quite understand how that is possible. But kudos to him for doing it. And it does mean that we are getting close to unsupervised. But I still feel like there's a lot of edge cases and situations where, especially with the speed control and the navigation, where often I have to intervene or disengage because it's either going too fast, I'm going to get a speeding ticket probably, or it's just going the wrong direction, or like it's going down a one-way street the wrong direction, or it just parks in the wrong place. So yeah, I don't think we're quite there yet. We're definitely close, but I guess with enough patience you could maybe go across the country without any interventions. But honestly, is it really no interventions if you have to like re-navigate to the same spot 3 times to get the space you need to be in? I don't know. That seems a little bit strange. We're gonna park. Okay. I would have probably not gotten in this person's way. That was a little bit awkward. But it did do a good parking job there. And we're in a spot that I believe is, let's see, it's Tropical Smoothie Cafe drive-through only parking. So again, another situation where I would have to change the parking location here, because that is not a correct parking spot for us to be in. There's also some 10-minute parking spots here. All right, so we were supposed to be going to the next destination, but for some reason we just parked again at Einstein Brothers. Now this is the parking spot that I would have wanted. We were supposed to go to Dunkin'. I don't know why we didn't get over to Dunkin'. All right. So this is the spot that I would have actually preferred that it park in. So this is a better job. And so we'll see what it does now. This is a very new shopping center, so possibly it's getting confused about the navigation again. Yeah, the route that it's trying to take us to Dunkin' doesn't make any sense. I think it's just going to park again here in this same shopping area. But hey, another parking job. We got 3 parking spots at this one location. So that's the first one that I've seen where it actually had to correct itself, but did end up doing a very good job of parking once it did correct itself. So it removed Dunkin' Donuts from our navigation. So it acted like we just parked at Dunkin' Donuts, but we are clearly still at Einstein. So that's no good. Let's add a stop. Yeah, see, it's got this weird navigation to do this. I don't know why it thinks that it needs to go out. We can actually go these these parking lots all connect here. Oh, it has the pin for Dunkin' and the wrong spot. So this is a navigation thing. It thinks that Dunkin' is here, but it's actually over here. All right, so let's actually get rid of Dunkin' then. Yeah, so that's a navigation thing, and I wouldn't have had to do anything if the navigation was correct. It would have gotten us to that location. But in this case, I don't think it would have ever gotten us to Dunkin' because for some reason on the map, it thinks that it's where we're already at. And I wouldn't want to walk all the way. The funny thing is, it looks like we're going to, yeah. Well, okay, so it decided to change its mind. It's not going to go through this racetrack parking lot, which is probably good. But that would have actually gotten us right to Dunkin' if it had gone that way. Now, in the past, we've also had problems with it actually not getting to City Barbecue, but strangely enough, it looks like possibly they did update the navigation because the point is showing all the way over there, and it does look like we're actually going to turn. You used to get confused with this City Barbecue and never be able to park there. So that was on version 13. So version 14 looks like maybe they did get that resolved. Yeah, so we could have gone that way into City Barbecue, but we're going to go the back way in here, which is fine. And we're going to take probably one of these easy spots on the right, which 4 of them are curbside pickup. So again, a spot that we would not want to park in because it is for curbside pickup, and I just wanted to park in the parking lot. But it doesn't know the difference between these different parking spots and whether they're available or not, so that's fine. Next is Target. All right, we can turn here, although right now it looks like it's going to navigate to the back side of Target, and I definitely don't want to park behind the store where the trucks would normally go. Okay. Yeah, see, this is no good. This is no good. First of all, we can't park back here. There's no parking spaces. And this obviously would have been the worst way to get to Target, because we could have actually parked on that side of the store and could have walked over to Target, although there's a PetSmart in between. That still would have been much easier. There's even signs here, no parking anytime, which makes sense because I think semi trucks have to kind of get through here. And yeah, we're behind this shopping center. Okay, there are parking spots here. And so if it parks here, this is like employee parking for some of these other stores. Oh boy, I think it's just going back. So it updated the navigation. Again, this is just a navigation thing. This is a navigation issue. This is not FSD driving poorly. It's just the navigation told it to go here and look for parking here. And guess what? This is not where you would want to park to go to Target. So hopefully it's gonna get closer here by going around this other side of the building. Again, I wouldn't really prefer to drive over here. Is it going to park here? Yes. Okay. We're parking here in the back of Target, so that is no good at all. Again, just a navigation issue, and I guess it did it fine eventually as far as the parking job, but not where we want to be. So let's continue on to Chick-fil-A, the final destination here, and see how it does with Chick-fil-A parking. I mean, please get out of this parking lot. Yes, thank you. Oh man, not really sure why that navigation is so poor. Obviously, you'd want to park in the front of the store, not behind the store. So, I mean, that again, like, what would that guy do if he went all the way across the country and one of the locations that he wanted to go to, it just didn't have the navigation right, and it would just keep parking in the wrong location? I don't understand how he wouldn't come across that situation. I mean, I come across this situation in, less than 5 miles. Twice. Two destinations. I mean, okay, technically, the way it parked at Target, it definitely, I could have gotten to the store. I think you can put a point on the map to adjust it. Maybe I should have tried that out. Let's see how it does this navigation here to Chick-fil-A. I could add a pin. Let's add that pin. Okay, so that's where I would prefer it to try to park first. So maybe that's how he would do it. He would just drop pins. We'll see if this gets us actually to Chick-fil-A where I would like to park. I'll just remove Chick-fil-A and that'll be the destination. Yeah. I mean, this would be a good way for it to go to Chick-fil-A. That's where I'd want. So I guess maybe that's what what you would do if it wasn't going to the exact location. But I mean, stuff like that would be super obnoxious if you were in a robotaxi or something where you don't Like, you would just say that you wanted to go to Chick-fil-A. You wouldn't say, I want to, make sure that you park on this side of the parking lot. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. All right, so looks like we're going to... Wow, all the cops are here. All right, fun. We're going to park right up front. So this is actually like the the perfect spot at Chick-fil-A. Crazy. All right, so final parking spot was perfect because we dropped the pin, and I guess that's really how you would have to do it to be able to get in the locations that you wanted, especially if for whatever reason the navigation is off, which is unfortunate because I would definitely prefer to just have it go to the location that you say in the navigation. And we had a terrible time parking at Target because of that navigation issue. Could have just dropped a pin, but I was hoping it would just kind of figure it out. And it never got Dunkin' right because it had the navigation wrong, or the location of Dunkin' wrong on that particular situation. So that was also unfortunate. However, we could have dropped a pin and I guess resolved that. And it did park in multiple spots that we were not supposed to park in. So it parked in a drive-through parking spot. It parked in a handicap spot and that sort of thing. So it's not perfect yet, obviously, but I do see how, basically I was able to do all this without intervening, technically. I just kept, changing the location, and, I could have redone the pin and basically not interacted with the car. But at that point, isn't it easier to just take over and do it yourself? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's an intervention. If you have to change the navigation or you have to drop a pin or whatever, that's an intervention. Now, technically, the car is doing all the driving itself, no problem. So, okay. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think you would put up with that going across the country? So just instead of just parking yourself at like a supercharger to get the spot you want, or at each location you do, just take over for that last 100 feet to get the exact spot that you want. Would you take over, or would you just drop the pins over and over again until it got to where you want? I don't know. I'm thinking I would definitely not do that. So anyway, that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.